One of the things that I thought is interesting in the dynamic between Ted and Gabriel and Nana is these discussions that they get into about what it means to be British and whether the essence of Britishness is being altered. And there is a similar discussion that goes on in the immigration debate here. And Ted says at one point in the book, British character, there's no such thing, not now. You see them, these politicians, talking about it, and it's like a Punch and Judy show. Time was, you could talk about decency, and it meant something.
Yeah, I mean, we've been having this debate in the UK about Britishness and what it means to be British, and that was, I suppose, re-energized or brought to the top of the agenda about 4 or 5 years ago when the citizenship test was introduced for people who want a British passport. And immediately this test was introduced, it was modelled on the US sort of thing. Immediately this test was introduced, all these online tests sprang up where you could test your own knowledge of British society and affairs and see whether you deserved your own British passport. And I remember taking one of these tests, and I did fine on the sort of history questions. I knew what the Magna Carta is and that kind of stuff. But then there were some things that I was just totally floundering. So what does PG stand for? I said it was our favourite brand of tea bags, and apparently I got that wrong. It was the parental guidance, the film classification system. And then name the order of the 4 saints' days I couldn't do at all. And then my favourite one, and I'm not making this up, was what should you do if you spill somebody's pint of beer in a pub? And I got the correct answer, which was you offer to buy them another one. But there was another option listed. It was an ABC that you tick. There was another option listed, which was prepare for a fight in the car park, which might actually be a truer indicator of the British culture.
How does this test whether you are ready to be a British citizen?
I know. It's kind of utterly bizarre, and I think a lot of people who, born and raised in Britain would have failed a number of these questions. You just have to study for the test. But how do you build a nation, or is it desirable that everybody has the same attitudes and the same culture? Those are, bigger questions to explore. For Ted, coming back to the book,
right?
He's got a genuine feeling that something has been lost, and for Nana as well. I hope there's some comedy in the passages with Nana, but there's something serious to explore there. So when I was doing my research, it wasn't just in the kitchens. I went back up north and I spent time in the cotton mills, the few remaining cotton mills. It's set in the north, he comes from the northwest of England. And I grew up in one of those towns. And I talked to a lot of people, and I especially talked to older white people about the changes that they'd seen in their towns over the years and what it meant to them. And Nana will grumble about things like the Eid Day parades, the Muslim Day parades. But at the same time, she reminisces about the days when they had their Whitsun walks and their Mothers' Union parades, and the days when there used to be a church on every street corner instead of a mosque. And I was really drawing on my research there when I was writing the character of Nana. And there's a genuine sadness there about seeing another community have what you feel has been lost in your own. And there's a sadness in the way that it's difficult to talk about without being accused of being stuck in the past or racist even.
Just like with Gordon Brown during the campaign. That woman that was talking to him about her concerns about immigration.
Yes.
had a genuine concern.
She had a genuine concern.
And yet it was so sensitive that immediately he defaults to, well, she's a bigot because she raised this.
Yes, but she, there's a discussion to be had, but that, she's also a kind of salt of the earth, pillar of her community, and to just brand her a bigot was just, I guess it was a sign of his frustration that he'd been challenged.
Right. I mean, what's interesting to hear you say this is this perception among the older white population of Britain. You might find the same thing in the United States, that, and I guess this is kind of the essence of the debate, that not that something has been gained, and, constant debate about what immigrants contribute to and what they're taking out of the system. Not that something that has been gained, but that something has been lost somehow from the culture.
Yes, yes. Well, I think we talk a lot about what's been gained, or at least the rhetoric is about what's been gained. And, for me, it's wonderful to me to spend time in Manhattan, which is totally multicultural, and I love London because it's multicultural. But the issue of what's been lost, or what some people perceive as been lost, is also worth talking about, I think. And I think that's, an area that fiction is useful in exploring.